yeah, we need more circular economy, we need more
But how?
upcycling. I said, no, in fact, it's quite opposite.
Yeah.
We need people buying less.
Yeah, just stop.
We need people buying less so that there is no circularity. So Tabby, it's good to be here.
Yes,
Thank
you
you for welcoming us.
No, of course.
It's really, we are so excited to, we were on the way in here, we were really talking about the project and we were saying how lovely it is that somebody else doing it as well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you started this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Would you tell me
Yeah, how it all started?
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, and thank you.
But by the way, we are in this gorgeous countryside.
Yes.
I see a very old classic car there. And it's an amazing
the wooden
space.
Beams
Wooden
and
beams, yeah.
This used to be an old, it was a dairy, so cows were in here. This was a dairy farm. But yeah, no, thank you so much for coming. 4 years ago, started off as an upcycling brand. So Reconsidered was first a service for people, sending us clothes. We turn them into something new, all about helping people to love what they own, not buy new. And in doing that, we accumulated a lot of waste and we wanted to do something with it. The little bits, the threads, the offcuts, all these little things that we couldn't really use. And so I worked with my dad, who's a composites expert, and we developed Fabrico. And that is what we have worked together to create these denim panels.
Yeah, I love that. I
shop.
mean, when I saw that, I was really excited because I think when you turn textile into other textiles, life cycle of that is not, it is longer. You do give a bit more longevity to the item, definitely. But when you turn it into, what's the name?
Fabrico.
Fabrico. I think you could use that for 80 years, 100 years,
for sure.
if it's done well.
Yeah.
So I think that's the exciting bit. The lifespan is
there.
longer, yes.
Yeah. I also love, we were talking about earlier about the way we want to become more attached to the clothes that we own and have those memories that are attached to them. And what I love so much about Fabrico is that there's not too much of a sorting process with the textiles. So in it, you can just bundle a lot of different materials in and you get to see, sometimes there might be a little button, sometimes you'll see the thread, and if you look closely you can see all of the fabric. And it's not like, I think, some recycled materials where you lose what it used to be. Fabrico and this kind of thing, you look at it and you know it's textile. It's a new form, but you've got the memory.
What can you use Fabrico for? What kind of?
So we've used it to make jewellery. And now that's evolved to become something much larger. We can use it for furniture making, for surfaces, walls, tiling. I mean, it's really, really versatile.
You were saying you did a bath tray?
Yeah, we've done a shower tray.
Shower tray?
Yeah.
And
so
how
it's
is that
waterproof
going?
and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
What's amazing about it is when it's dry, it's a kind of lighter colour. And then immediately when the water hits it, it's this like really vibrant, beautiful, marbly fabric. It's just all material. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Can you recycle that after?
We can make it into more Fabrico.
You can make it more. Okay, amazing. Yeah.
You just have to grind it down again and then.
So what's your future dreams?
The future dream is to just see Fabrico on a much larger scale. It's so obvious the amount of textile waste that's used in it. So to be able to see Fabrico made into, like for your shop, actual furniture, and that just for me means that we're just using a lot more textile waste. We've been making such small products so far, and just to get more brands on board with using what they can't use at the moment, and just see more textile waste being used, basically.
It's interesting you say that because we have a small production unit in East London, and we produce about 1,500 kilos of offcuts materials. And when we did our R&D around, we called it black or stain matter because it was our leftover fabric. We turned it into this new composite material. And when we wanted to do that as on a industrial scale, we couldn't find anywhere near
could.
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we could send it to other countries,
Yeah.
but then that defeats the point
Yeah.
because we don't want to create carbon footprint.
Mm.
I think most of the textile materials, when they are turned into other textile materials or yarns or fabrics, the carbon footprint is so high,
Yeah.
it defeats the point. I think we need more than one center in countries like us,
Yeah. Yeah.
here or in Europe.
Yeah.
We need, in fact, 10, 20, 30 centers where we turn this unwanted textile materials or other materials into this kind of new composites
Yeah.
to use it in our buildings, in our schools, in our...
Keep everything local.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I think also the more that the fashion industry is becoming more local, there are way more local British factories opening up for textile for clothing manufacture.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity for us to also make sure that the end of life cycle is also accounted for. And it's so counterintuitive to be doing something so good with recycling and upcycling, but to actually incur a massive carbon footprint doing it.
I mean, we talked about earlier upcycling or recycling on its own. It's not the solution.
No, not
because
at all.
we are very often in the world of sustainability. We talk about we need to upcycle more, recycle more, and actually that's not the solution.
Yeah.
The solution is we need to
just look after what we
have.
I also think the solution is multifaceted, that you can't, I think a lot of people want that sort of one-stop shop solution. They want to just say, okay, well, we're just going to now recycle everything we do, and then that's it, solved. And actually, you've got to come at it in loads of different directions. You need to start designing better, making sure that what you're designing is something that can be repaired, it can be replaced. We need to be actually doing something like Fabrico from the waste that we accumulate that can't be used for anything else. And we need to be teaching people how to, even just learn how to sew a button on their clothes, be upskilling people. We need to come at sustainability in so many different directions. It's not just a one-size-fits-all, let's just do more recycling. And I think that's an easier thing to hold on to.
So how do you go around scalability because when you do it in smaller quantities, my experience of producing our own material, Lacoste Matter, it was really expensive.
Yeah.
And when people choose materials for their shops, tiles, kitchens,
they want it to be affordable.
They want it to be maybe reasonably affordable, not cheap, but reasonably affordable. How can we
scale that up?
Scale that up and overcome that.
Those teething problems. Yeah. So, collaborating with people like yourself for us is massively important. This is the first opportunity we've had to commercially actually do something bigger. We've done it in-house and it's cost us a lot of money and time, and we've stretched ourselves, but collaborating with you has allowed us to sort of make that first step.
Okay.
Then it's about, to be honest, raising investment or getting grants. I think the UK goes through phases of having pots of money for innovative things like this, and then sometimes doesn't, and that's a struggle in itself. So I think generally we need more financial help as an industry in terms of doing things that are innovative. And then, through collaboration and people trusting in a new product. It's a lot of trust that you've had in us to create you something totally new from having seen a few samples, and to then go and make things for your shop. That's what it's all about, is people trusting and collaborating.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Do you have any... So, Tabby, I have meetings with all sorts of people, and everybody looks at sustainability from their own angle.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to hear what is your feeling about sustainability on a very personal level?
Yeah, I think it's such a tricky word because it has been sort of used and abused a little bit. It's been thrown around a lot, and ultimately it does mean just something that will last longer, that we can keep up, that we can maintain. And our whole world has become about things that are quick fixes, easy, fast, buy, throw away. And I'm come from a generation of people that were brought up to just buy. I wasn't really aware growing up about the impact that was having on the environment, or the people that made the clothes that I wore, the things that I bought. And so for a long time, sustainability just wasn't in my world. And so personally, it's been a massive journey for me, just learning to start to look after the clothes that I own, realise that the things that I own that are most important to me are the things that I've had for the longest time, that had a story that someone gave to me. And then same with physical things, not only the clothes that we wear, just it's a long journey, sustainability, and it's a heavy word. So for me, it's just about committing to doing things better and thinking about the future with everything that we do. And always having that in mind, I think.
In a way, going back to basics and investing into what you do before impulsively doing it.
Yes, exactly. So important. Would you say that's sort of similar to how you see sustainability?
It's an interesting question. I agree with you. It's been abused a lot, and still lots of people greenwashing. We look at sustainability in 3 different compartments. One is on a very personal level, personal sustainability, what that means. That means for me creating a space where I feel connected to what I do, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like
it's come from
passion and really enjoying. And there are some stresses, but also stress is, as long as it's a managed stress, it's good.
It is really good.
It helps me grow. It helps me learn. It helps me put priorities in life. That's really good. So the other one is social sustainability, which I think we talk about that if we can get the message right to the audience. They need to invest into their whatever they do, buying furniture, buy a little bit more expensive, but make sure that it's going to last a bit longer. Buy a better clothes, locally made, so that you support your locality. And speak to people, makers. Speak to makers so that you connect with them differently. Of course, third is environmental sustainability, where if we do first 2 things right, third one comes automatically.
For sure.
But authenticity is the most important bit in all of those 3, because sometimes, as you said, sometimes people do greenwashes. And because we take things for granted so much, we don't question anything.
No. And we're fed so much information as well. And while that is absolutely how I see it, that we've got to become more local, we've got to become more authentic, we've got to scale down. You're up against such a force with the internet and globalization and the huge industries that exist. And it's it's exciting, it's that stress, it's that sort of, that's what fuels you to fight that. And I know 100% that people who come to realise that, and myself included, the power of actually doing things sustainably and local and doing things in a better way is just transformative. It's amazing.
And also on a personal level, it's very rewarding.
Exactly.
On a very deep soul level, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, even when people learn how to mend their clothes, I feel like they realise, oh, this is powerful. Like I can do something.
Through form of meditation for me.
Oh, 100%. I have a question about sort of having that balance as well when you're trying to do something in a world that is not really set up for it. When you manufacture denim clothing, how do you deal with the fact that you are still selling clothes to people and it is new? Is it about the maintenance and the repair and that kind of thing that helps?
So first of all, knowing where we are coming from, we say publicly and we admit it that we are not sustainable company.
Okay.
We never went out there to become a sustainable.
Yeah.
It's impossible to become a sustainable. Nobody is sustainable.
No.
There are lots of companies, they go out there, they say they are a sustainable company. But actually, they are not. Because if you really go and question deeper and deeper, the infrastructure in the country is not sustainable.
No. Yeah.
Okay? Our grid is not sustainable. Okay? The world is not sustainable. But we encourage sustainable behavior with our actions.
Cool, yeah.
And we designed the company to the company itself as a pillars.
And it's founded on those three.
Or we founded on, we want to make best jeans in the world. And that's, we don't compromise on that.
Cool.
Yeah, you could argue what makes the best jeans in the world. That's not the point. We want to make best jeans in the world.
Your best jeans in the world, yeah, got it.
We want to create connectivity. Connectivity is so important. That's what I feel that I'm doing with you.
Yeah.
Connecting with you, like-minded person, or we want to connect with universities.
Yeah.
We want to be local. We want to create projects where it helps the locality. So those pillars are really important for us. And also the profit we haven't set up a company where we said we're going to grow 5% a year. We don't see it that way.
Yeah.
It's organically, sometimes it stops, sometimes it goes back, sometimes it grows.
And it evolves and...
It evolves, and because we know that formula is not sustainable. Imagine we have, 300 countries in the world, millions of companies in the world. Our aim is to grow 3-4% every year.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't have that resources to grow.
No.
Okay?
No.
World has a limited resources. So our job as a company to explain to people, don't buy a lot, don't buy unnecessarily. Repair your clothes, repair your clothes. And if you need it, of course, buy it from us.
Yeah.
Because we promise you to give you lifetime repair guarantee. We promise to be behind our product.
Yeah.
And we will discourage you buying unnecessarily too.
Yeah. See, I think that...
Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the way it should be going. I mean, we've got a finite amount of resources. But like I say, it's so counter what the rest of the industry is doing. And I think that's why it's such a brave thing to base your company on and to grow like that. And it's exactly how I feel that I want my company to grow. And it's all about doing it organically and being totally aware of the fact that that way of thinking of just exponential growth to be bigger and bigger and bigger is completely the opposite to what sustainability means.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really brave thing to do in the world.
One of our pillars in the company, we don't want to be bigger and bigger.
No, perfect.
We have a limited capacity, and once it's filled, that capacity, that's it.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
No, that's
and
brilliant.
If somebody else does that in Manchester, Liverpool, Cambridge, Oxford, amazing. That means it's a successful formula because
others are doing it.
We become the antidote.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I really saw that as well with upcycling. There was a moment where there were lots of different people doing it in different spaces, and it was a real struggle to see that it was something that consumers would want.
Yeah.
And then over time, those individuals grew organically. They didn't suddenly overtake and become the next high street fashion brand. But what they did do is they created communities that were really, really focused on the message of their brand and what it meant. And they started consuming differently. It was about buying something that was more expensive, but that meant something. And I think that has happened in the UK a lot. And it's so amazing to see that small companies are becoming self-sufficient. They are sustainable. They're doing it the right way. And they're not just at some point getting rid of all those values and saying, no, we just want to become the biggest and we want to overtake any of those big brands. I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Dreams doesn't need to be put on a big dreams or small dreams. Dreams are dreams, yeah? Okay. I don't know your dream, but my dream is when we create that open source space, people like you coming with your own projects, with your own clients and say, look, I sold 25 shower trays. I like to do it here. Right,
yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And use your own formula because you already have it.
Yeah.
There's machinery there.
Yeah.
There's shredding machine there.
And that's how you'd have it all in that space.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think it's such a dream situation because I really, really see that. I think the difficulty is having all of those people with all their different needs. We have very specific setup that we have, and that's just so exciting to imagine a space that can cater to all the different projects and things.
Tabby, I'm really curious in the process of how you transform raw textile material into this new composite shape. But also I'm also interested in your process too, because you were mentioning in the beginning there was a difficulty and then you overcome that. What was that process like?
The pieces were made of, people thought they were made of that sort of like clay or more just plastic really. And so as it's evolved, I've become so much prouder of the piece because I feel like immediately, even someone who doesn't understand composites or new materials can immediately see this is made of textile waste. And then they start to question how and how can it be like this, and it's a solid and it's water resistant and it can be used in so many things. And for me, making a shower tray out of textile waste to making jewelry out of textile waste, to see that one thing that we attach only to what we wear in other spaces being used in other ways is just so exciting to me. It kind of goes back to upcycling as well for me, when people would send me a dress and I turned it into a pair of trousers and a hat, to know that evolved from one thing to another. And so the process of making Fabrico over time has just been incredibly exciting to see it evolve.
I mean, when I was watching you explaining that, you got more and more energized and excited, which was lovely to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. That people also say that a lot, and that reminds me as well that I love it so much.
I think you love what you're doing. That's what
that's probably the most obvious thing.
Personal sustainability is all about.
100%. Yeah. And also when so this necklace I'm wearing currently.
I've been looking at it, yes.
So when people say, oh, nice necklace, it's not, I don't say, oh yeah, I bought it from this shop, or it's just a necklace. This is textile waste. And
I made it.
And not even that I made it, it's the idea that it's textile waste, and it makes people like double take. It's like, did they hear that right? How could it be solid? How can it be like this? And I think that that is just such an exciting thing, to be doing something that makes people think. I'm
not. I have another question, which is, okay, this I don't have the answer, which I'm really curious. I'll give you a little background. So was it 2 May, not last May, previous May, I went to Spain with 2 old friends. We went to a restaurant. I love wine, I love food. And the waiter came in. He said, also I know my wine a little bit. So we were looking at the menu. He said, look, there is one wine, it's not on the menu. It stayed in the terracotta jars, under the sea for 1 year. Our eyes lit. I said, yes, bring it. Silly me, I didn't even ask what the price is.
No.
Luckily, I didn't have to get a mortgage. But it was delicious.
Yeah.
Still to this day, after 18 months later, I sense, I still feel how different the wine was.
Yeah.
I know that in the composite that we are doing, we use resin. And lots of people, when they ask, when I say we use resin, their eye opens. And of course, resin is not sustainable material, which I intellectually understand, but also I intellectually don't agree with that. Because in this material, when you turn this into textile, into this solid material, and if you do whatever you do with it, if it lasts 70, 80 years, or even 150 years, I think that's on its own is a sustainable thing. But also it made me think, I wonder if we cut this in smaller shapes and throw it in the sea, does it become like a little stones? Because lots of glass and lots of sometimes hard plastics, when I go to the beaches, it becomes like interesting shapes.
Yeah. Because of the water eroding it.
Shaping it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting thought, and I think that whole debate on whatever you do, you're always going to come up against the criticism and
which is fine,
which is really good.
Yeah.
And it makes you then also question what you might not have questioned before.
Yeah.
And with resin, I have the exact same thing when we mention it's resin, and we use a bio-resin, but it's not 100% perfect. It's not totally made of plant material, and the idea in a dream world would be to be using a resin that was totally compostable. At the same time, the textile that we use isn't made out of plant material. You know, we're using
polyester.
There's all sorts of plastics in the textiles that we're recycling, and so ultimately, even if we did use a plant-based resin, the product of Fabrico isn't compostable. You can't just throw it back into the ecosystem and let it degrade. And we've got to a point where we have too much of this stuff, so we've got to do something with it. And like you talk about the importance of creating things that will last a really long time. I don't know what would happen if we put through Fabrico into the sea. It would be cool to see how it works. But it's
thinking loudly because I think most of the problems in the world with plastic is single use, definitely, but with textile, single year use, let's call it that way. Because if you use something for 10 years as a textile, then I think you used it long enough.
Definitely. But I also think it's that thing of coming at sustainability and questioning things and working out the best scenario, the best situation and the best scenario and the best way to do things, and always evolve and always question it and always think about the consequences. And I think it's important to recognise that Fabrico is, it's made of textiles that are full of microplastics and weaved with plastic, and it's important to recognise that, not just to blanket it like it's a sustainable thing. Because it's ultimately made from waste that we've accumulated.
I think that's a very good point. How do you see near future Fabrico evolving, or our perception of upcycling, recycling, and turning them into another material evolving in the society that we live in? For you, I know that you can't have an answer for the society. But I'm sure you have some sense of feeling for Fabrico. I just think it's really exciting. I think it's a really hopeful space. I think there's a lot of innovation going on. I mean, everywhere you turn,
there are more solutions that people are coming up with. It's a really new space as well. I think we're drawing on an understanding and a perception of the world that is older than anything, but it's being brought back into society, and we're thinking about it differently, and through that we're coming up with really novel and exciting solutions. Fabrico feels like it's in the right space. I think when we first started 4 years ago, it felt a little less, people weren't responding to it in the same way, and now it just feels like it's booming. There's so much going on. There's so many people to collaborate with, like you guys, and also Fiber Lab, who are doing the textile shredding. They're not just textile shredders, they're also innovators. They're all about collaborating, making new materials. It just feels as though it's the right time, I think. And sometimes it didn't used to feel like that.
Yeah. What about next 5 years?
Next 5, well, I think that it's just only going to be an upwards trajectory. I think that if already there are people listening to it, responding to it, doing stuff, like we were talking about the doers, more than just the speakers. And the more of that's there, the more that other organisations that aren't in this space and that have the infrastructure are going to suddenly open their doors and invest and support and collaborate, and that can only mean just making it more mainstream.
I have another question around that. Do you feel that in this, well, we just changed the government, we have a brand new government, and they were talking about more austerity now. They cut, I think, 20 billion pounds green investment. They cut that because we don't have that money to invest.
Yeah.
Do you think policymakers are aware of all these challenges and difficulties? And do you feel that? Do you feel understood by the policymakers?
Yeah, I think in the UK, no.
No. You live in Germany, yeah?
I do live in Germany for a bit of the
What
year.
about in Germany? How do they look at this?
I think Europe is slightly more on board. I think they are thinking properly about it. They're putting policies in place. It is a more, it seems like there's a clearer direction. However, just on your point about the UK and the new government, and I think that it's a really tricky time for innovation, because ultimately we're going through a really hard time economically, the cost of living. I just think that we're in a place where there's lots of innovation, there's lots of excitement, there's lots of new thinking, and at the same time the fundamental line of just surviving for a lot of people is a lot harder right now. And so we're kind of balancing like wanting to be really hopeful, innovative, with actually the reality, which is why I think sometimes it can feel like innovation gets put on the back burner. But I do think that Europe, for example, feels, I know we're in Europe, but sadly not anymore properly. Not really. And that they seem to be doing it more. How do you feel with your business? Do you feel that it's supported?
It's not supported, but somehow I feel more positive. I feel more energized.
Okay.
I feel that the language that we all using in this field are a bit more understood in the wider public and the policymakers. One thing that I would recommend to policymakers, I understand that we have difficulty around public finance, but this is our future. People like these entities, we make big difference, and we have proven records. We have proven ourselves that we we do this properly, and we are willing to work. And I think if there is a budget, or if there is a project where you need to choose projects, I think you should choose people with the proven tracks. So I'm really hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful. In terms of Black Horse Lane, we're gonna make this happen next 5 years, and we're gonna create an open door policy. And I'm excited with working with like-minded people, because more people do that, more it will be extremely powerful. It will be infectious.
Yeah, and it will catapult us into it. Yeah,
it will be infectious, and people will excite.
For sure.
And coming back to again sustainability things, as long as there are human beings on this planet, they will have this kind of access unwanted materials, and these kind of projects are so important in order to find a solution to that.
Yep. Well, yeah, and there are people who have these ideas, and like you say, we're ready.
Yeah.
We've got what we need. We just need that support.
Yeah. So we mentioned earlier, whenever I go into conferences, meetings, and when I see people talking about sustainability, after a while I switch myself off, because sometimes I find some people who talks about sustainability, I feel that they are more critics of today's system, and theoretically they do bring something to the table, but they haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
And that really turns me off somehow. But when I find people who are behind their words, and they walk the walk, okay?
Yeah.
That inspires me. So what would you recommend to people having this kind of ideas, who wants to do a difference? What would you recommend? Because you have this 4 years under your sleeve. Yeah. And I'm sure you have so many recommendations.
Yeah. I think and just on your point about speaking and not doing, I think it's a funny thing, because our waste problem is a really real physical issue, and just to talk about it seems so. I mean, it's important, really important, to have conversations about it, but we've really got to do something with it. It's right in front of us. There's actual stuff that we need to be creative with.
So otherwise, that mountain, if we don't do anything,
just stays there.
It grows.
It grows, exactly, and we just watch it grow. Yeah. And so it's such a real problem. And like when we started, I did have my own little mountain growing of textile waste as I was doing my own projects. Not anymore. Well, it's all nicely organised for future Fabrico. But yeah, so it was a real thing, and it was just like, okay, let's take it and let's have a go. And like I was saying before, the first iterations of Fabrico were not very pretty, and they weren't going to be very useful either. And so it was just about experimenting and carrying on and talking to people and seeing if they had advice for making things better, and literally just having a go and not being too scared about trying, because when you don't just get stuck in, the mountain grows, the waste mountain grows, and also the fear of even trying grows. Yeah. And you can just sort of watch it and step back and have all these ideas, but actually ultimately it starts with having a go, and it won't be perfect. And that's also exciting.
Do you also feel, I mean, this is my experience, that's why when I have an idea, if I don't share it and talk to other people, it just stays as an idea.
Yeah.
But the moment I start sharing with wider friends, colleagues, even sometimes competitors, more I commit myself to do something about it.
For sure.
So I am really creating an invisible or contract with myself.
You're putting it into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that
force myself to, okay, you talked about it
You better
now,
do it.
you better do it. Do
No.
you feel that talking to other people helps?
Yeah, for sure. And also I think that showing people, when you actually do a little iteration of something, or even like draw it or write it down, and then
Yeah.
you show somebody it, getting their feedback from it and getting their opinions and their excitement on what you're planning to do or what you've done, or a little experiment, you then, that fuels the fire. You're just like, okay, well, they thought that was really interesting. They didn't like that. They liked this. They thought this was a good idea. And then that just adds to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, conversations with people about something that you're actively doing is super important.
Yeah.
But that comes with actually
Yeah.
doing it and talking through the
So
plan.
they go hand to hand.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
about just chatting
Just
about it.
lecturing and criticizing
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And the idea that waste isn't this scary, horrible thing.
Yeah,
it's
waste is an opportunity.
100%.
Perfect ending.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming
No,
and doing
absolutely,
this.
absolutely. I mean, this is an interesting conversation. I think this discussion could be open to public, and in that, I wonder if people, audience who is hearing this, could suggest solutions to our challenges as well.
Appreciate what you've got.
Yeah, we need people buying less.
Yeah.
So there is no recycling.
Yeah, yeah.
We shouldn't have more recycling.
No, I know it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
What's the point of having bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger recycling?
Yeah.
Because real point is we don't have enough resources on the planet.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
No.
Everybody talks about upcycling, recycling. No.
But it's also the same thing I find with secondhand shopping. It's this bizarre thing where you start off and you're like, obviously secondhand shopping's a great thing. You know, you go and you're not going to be buying anything new, and you can encourage it and you talk to people. And then after a while you realise everyone's become obsessed with buying more. It's just secondhand.
It's just
So
secondhand.
it's just completely counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
and
no.
then somebody has to make brand new clothes.
Yep. To be able to
able
suddenly
to
turn
have
into
enough
secondhand.
secondhands,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we all can't just be happy with what's in our wardrobes already. There's still the desire to add and add.
I love vintage rugs, kilims. Do you know what kilim is?
No?
So kilim is this hand-woven traditional from Central Asia, Iran, Turkey, part of Syria, Balkans, Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
North Africa. They do this amazing woven, naturally dyed
Oh,
wool rugs.
yeah, beautiful.
And the old ones are really beautiful and really, really gorgeous. And because colors, when they first dye, it's very vibrant. But with the time,
Yeah.
70, 80 years later, it becomes very pastel colors.
Faded and
Faded.
yeah, beautiful.
But demand is so high.
Yeah.
What the people do, they make brand new kilims
Yep.
and they put it under the sun for
They whitewash it. Oh gosh.
8 months, and then they sell it as a 60-year-old
Classic.
second-hand. So the second-hand market
Yeah,
might
yeah.
become that. People producing new.
Oh, you even see it, I feel like.
Well,
You see sort of vintage shops,
Yeah.
but actually you go in and they're not vintage, they're just vintage style.
But actually, having said that, denim industry has been doing that for 40
yeah.
years.
Yeah, don't they purposefully
yeah.
bleach and
Yeah,
rip
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. You see, do you understand how
I
frustrating
know,
that
and
is?
but it's so counterintuitive because you've got these people wanting to wear things that look like they've been worn in, they've had them for years, but they bought them yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what
We
you are
just
saying. It's already
Do
happening.
something, I know. It's ridiculous. Oh,
So are we ready?
We're recording.
oh
We are
God,
recording,
okay.
okay.
Now I'm going to get all like,
Serious.
yeah.